role model. I want to be, instead of a role model, I want to be a real model. Because a role is a role. You know what I'm saying? If I always play like I'm so goody-goody, then somebody see me doing something bad that every human being has to go through, and they're going to go, wait a minute, he ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll let him down. But if I be me, I can never let anybody down. Because I'm going to have to be me.
So, I'm a small town girl from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, where nobody knows where that's at. College was never a part of my plans. It literally just came to me. I only went because everybody else was going. I never wanted to go to college. I never really cared about going to college. Like, none of that interests me. I didn't care. Until my senior year, you know, you start to get older, and I was just like, you know, I don't want to be living with my mama. I want to go out. So I decided, okay, well, the only way you can do that is if you go to college. So it's time to pick colleges, and I only applied to 3 schools: A&T, Winston, and Central. But I never even heard of Winston until the day I applied. Like, I didn't know anybody that went to Winston. Winston was not like somewhere where everybody from where I'm from went to. There was none of that. So Winston, I never was interested in Winston. I didn't care about going to Winston. Like, Winston was irrelevant to me. So when I applied, now it's time to take the SAT. So when I took the SAT the first time, I really didn't want to take it. And the reason I didn't really want to take it is because I knew I wasn't going to do well, because the day of the SAT was the day of my cousin's funeral, who was shot and killed.
And that breaking news this noon coming in from Prince George's County, where police make an arrest in a deadly shooting of a father killed while trying to protect his son. ABC 7's Jeanette Reyes live at the live desk with the latest details. Jeanette?
Well, ladies, we're still awaiting details on this breaking news, but we can confirm that Deion Warren, who's wanted for murder, is behind bars.
All right. For somebody to take my cousin's life, that shit had me tore up, and I couldn't even go to the funeral. Like, over nothing. Took his life for nothing. This isn't a cousin that, you know, I didn't barely know. This is a cousin who was around a lot when I was growing up, and to tell me that he's gone and I can't even go to the funeral, like, take a SAT. What? Like, that shit was just unfair. So unfair. So I really couldn't focus. Like, I really couldn't. And my scores reflected it. So I applied to those schools anyway with the scores I had, because I had nothing else. And of course, I got rejected by all 3 schools. So that kind of, you know, took a toll on me, but I wasn't really surprised. And around this time, you know, I got classmates and homies was just like, oh, I got this on the SAT, and I got this. Oh, Indy, what you get? And I'm just like, yeah, I got to take it over again. And I was like, oh, okay. So around this time, you know, now as a school, we're going to do college tours, and we go to A&T, and not to knock A&T, but it wasn't for me. Like, when I went to the campus, like, I was like, no. I realized that the only reason I wanted to even go to A&T is for the wrong reasons. And a lot of people want to go to A&T, but for the wrong reasons. And I'm glad I kind of noted that in myself. Was like, no, you want to go to the party. You want to go there for G-Ho. You want to do everything other than anything that has to do with education. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not even going to put myself in that situation. So let's just go ahead and eliminate A&T. So I did that. And now it's time for me to take the SAT again. And I'm just like, okay, well, India, it's your time. So I take it, and I'm waiting for my scores to come back, and I go visit Central. Now, that whole semester, that whole 12th grade senior year, I was stuck on Central. I was going to be an Eagle. I didn't know anything else. That's all I cared about. I didn't want to be nothing else. That's the only school I wanted to go to. If I wasn't going to be an Eagle, I didn't want to be anything else. And I went to that campus, and I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. It didn't fit me. It wasn't it for me. Like, not to knock Central, but it wasn't for me personally. And I felt that vibe when I was there, and I was just like, okay, well, now what am I gonna do? So I get my SAT scores back, and they're still too low. So I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know what to do anymore. So I'm getting frustrated because now people are asking me, well, India, where you going to school at, and where you get accepted to, and this and the third, and my friends getting acceptance letters, and I haven't got anything. And I'm down to, but technically one school now, because I knew for a fact I didn't want to go to Central, and I only applied to 3 schools. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm feeling real, I don't know, I'm just feeling real defeated at this point. And so I took the SAT one more time, and it was the last time you could take the SAT. That was it. And I had to go all the way to Virginia just to take it. And when I got there, I remember I prayed. I was like, Lord, if college is where you want me to go, I obviously can't get these scores by myself because I tried twice. I need you to come in and do something I can't do. I just need this score. If this is what you want me to do, I need you to work your magic. So I go take it, and then, you know, time goes on, and I go visit Winston's campus. And I instantly fell in love with this place, which was shocking to me because I never wanted to be here. I never wanted to be around. I never cared to go to Winston. Like, Winston was never even on the radar. And it's crazy because the school that was never on the radar was the school that ended up changing my life forever. So I remember when I first got to here, the first person I saw was this dude named Jarrell Smith. He was my tour guide. And the campus was just so homey feeling, so warm feeling. And I was like, I really, really like this place. So I remember I was like, yo, I'm going to Winston. Like, I'm going to Winston. And everybody was like, what? I thought you was going to the Central. Like, nah, I'm going to Winston. I'm going to Winston. And I'm saying I'm going to Winston, but I still ain't got no acceptance letter. So I got my SAT scores back, and I got the exact score to get into Winston. I had got the exact score, literally the exact score. And I was just like, well, okay. Well, I sent it off, and I got my acceptance letter the day of when the money was due. I guess, you know, when you're a freshman, you have to pay like the admission fee or something you have to pay. I got my acceptance letter the last day, the day of. And I paid my money, and your girl became a ram that day. And little did I know how big of an impact that one decision, all those failures, all those times where I felt defeated, all those times where I felt like, India, you can't be this dumb. Like, all of that worked out for me to be exactly where I was supposed to be.
I would say you might encounter many defeats, but you must never be defeated, ever. In fact, it might even be necessary to confront defeat. It might be necessary to get over it, all the way through it.
When I got to Winston, I realized in a short amount of time that even though I was a freshman, I still wasn't on the same level as the rest of my classmates. Their education level and experiences was up here, and I was down here, literally. I came here and I felt stupid. I felt so dumb. I felt less than. I wanted to go home in the inside because I felt like there's no way I'm meant to be here, and I don't have nothing that these people have. Like, educationally, I heard people saying, oh, I got certified in this, and I got my license in this, and we took like French and Portuguese and this, that, and this, that, and third, and we've been here, and we had the opportunity to do this, and I'm just like, what? And it was so many things that when I got in the classroom, it was like, oh yeah, we already learned this. We learned this in 11th grade, and I'm just like, feeling kind of down, because I'm just like, I didn't know none of this stuff. Like, I knew nothing, a whole lot of stuff that we were supposed to know, as college students, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. And it just showed me, like, my school system really, really failed me. And it showed my freshman year. It showed through my grades. It showed through the way I just did my daily life. It showed. I went to a school where they passed you just cause. There's no reason why I'm making C's and D's in high school, but on my report card it's saying B's and A's. You know, like, that just doesn't make sense. And when I got to school, I was so accustomed to getting by and being lazy that my grades reflected it. I remember being in the classroom and people was just like, you know, well, I come from a school and we did, you know, I got my certificate in, you know, nursing, or I got my certificate in this. And I'm just like, in high school? Y'all got this in high school? I was like, oh yeah, so what did y'all do in high school? And I'm just like, we had nothing. We had none of that. We had nothing. They didn't prepare us for anything. There's no reason why I'm a senior in high school and this is my first time writing a real paper. So when I got to college, writing a 3-page paper scared me. It scared me because I never really had to write a real paper except for one time in my whole entire life. So I was behind. I was super behind. I didn't know any type of work ethic. I didn't know how to study. I didn't know anything, like anything. And I'm so used to people letting me get by. I thought it was gonna continue. Boy, was I wrong. I remember my freshman year, I had C's, D's, and probably like 1 B. Like, an A was not a thing for me. It was not a thing. And I wasn't going to class. I would literally get up, go to the caf, and come back in my room and go to sleep. Like, I would not even go out. Like, I wouldn't even go to class. Like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do any work. Like, I wasn't doing anything. And I know, like, my mom was just like, what is she doing up there? Why is her grades like this? And I'm just like, I wanted to do it anyway. I wasn't applying myself. And it's not because I was lazy on purpose. It's because for the last 4 to 5 years in the school system I was in, this is all I knew. This was okay. This was acceptable. So how was I supposed to know that this wasn't going to fly? How was I supposed to know that? Nobody told me about college. So my grades really highly reflected it. And I didn't care. I didn't care. I was that freshman where if it was time to buy books, I ain't had no money for it. But if it was time to buy a gym jam ticket, I was there. You could catch me at a party, but you wouldn't catch me in class. That was really how I was. And it was not because I didn't have any freedom growing up and I was just wilding. That was never the case. It was more so I still really didn't want to be there. I was only there because people expected me to go to college. And that was a big thing I had because it's so hard being put up on a pedestal by other people that you didn't ask to be on. I didn't ask for y'all to expect this out of me. I didn't ask y'all to expect greatness out of me. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for y'all to think I'm this way. I didn't ask for that. And the next 3 years, I basically had to put on the front. When I was going through the worst times of my life, I had to hide it from everybody. Like, I had to hide it. And that was just that. It's gonna do the close, girl. I don't know if I listen now. You're crazy.